City Hall. Thanks for joining us for the Mayor's briefing for February 27th, 2025. Well, it does feel like spring outside, and we are so glad to see warmer temperatures coming our way here in our city. One unfortunate, though, side effect of winter weather is, as any Kansas driver knows, are potholes. Potholes are formed by weather when moisture seeps into cracks and pores in the road. As temperatures drop, the water freezes and expands, and water also reaches soil underneath the road and freezes yet again, which shifts the ground and pushes up that asphalt. As frozen water melts, the asphalt can collapse or sink, forming what we know as a pothole. So thankfully, the city of Wichita has a report an issue icon on your phones as well as on the website, wichita.gov, where you can report those potholes as well as other issues around the city. So we encourage the community to share where you're seeing those potholes so that the Public Works Department can be notified of the location and within 24 to 48 hours be able to fill those potholes. Now again, most potholes are filled or fixed within 24 hours, and you can track the progress of your report once you have submitted it either on the app or on the wichita.gov website. In other street maintenance news, we are talking about some of the street repairs, and you can see a full screen of all those road repairs. We'll begin with District Number 1. Commerce Street is currently closed south of Waterman. Lewis Street is closed at St. Francis. St. Francis is one lane southbound only from Waterman to Kellogg. This project will reconstruct both Commerce and St. Francis streets as two-way roadways with sidewalks, parking, and new pedestrian and vehicular connections between both streets. Then we'll move to District Number 3. Southeast Boulevard is reduced to one lane in each direction from Pawnee to south of Wassell. Left turns are restricted from Southeast Boulevard onto Pawnee. Left turns at the intersection of Wassell and Southeast Boulevard are restricted for eastbound Wassell onto Southeast Boulevard and northbound Southeast Boulevard onto Wassell. This project will reconstruct the sanitary sewer pipe that is currently located under the southbound lanes of I-135. And Council Member of District Number 3, Mike Hoheisel, is here, and he can share more in a little bit. Then we will move to District Number 4. Traffic is reduced to one lane in each direction on West Street from south of Pawnee to Harry. Left turns are restricted from West Street onto Southwest Boulevard. This project will convert West Street from a 4-lane roadway to 5 lanes, and West Street is closed south of 44th Street. Traffic will be detoured to Meridian at MacArthur and 47th Street during this closure. This project will convert West Street from a 2-lane roadway to 3 lanes, including a left turn center lane, curb, and drainage improvements. Then we'll move to District Number 6. Waco will be closed to through traffic between 20th and 21st Streets. Traffic is detoured utilizing Arkansas Avenue to install a new water main in the area of 21st and Waco. And next week, we anticipate officially starting to switch some downtown streets from one-way to two-way. We will share more information on the exact date as construction progresses. The first parcel will be Emporia Street from Central to Murdoch. The week of March 10th, the city anticipates converting Topeka Street from Douglas to Murdoch. We know that change is difficult, but previous street conversion work has made local businesses more accessible and easier to traverse. The city will continue to work on these conversions to make driving safer for both drivers and pedestrians. Moving now to animal services. We would like to ask Animal Control to come each week to share an Animal of the Week, which serves their mission to take in lost or abandoned animals and reunite them with their owners or to find new homes. Here to share our Animal of the Week is Lily Meadows, our City Manager's Office Fellow, who is working with the department and helping them with operations and spreading awareness of animals and their care to help them get adopted or reunited with their friends.
Thank you, Mayor. We're so excited to be here and be welcomed back every week. So we have some good news to share. Keeper, who Emily brought last week, was adopted by one of our City Hall staff, and his name is now Remington Barrett, and he knows a fun and loving home. So we hope that this little guy can also experience that joy. But the goal of the animal shelter is to reunite all pets with their owners. So we need your help to save as many animals as possible. And that can be done by sharing the Facebook post. We're called the Wichita Animal Shelter. And we post the animals that come in the recent days so that we can help reunite people. And the more shares we get, the more people can know about what animals are there. And if you do have a lost pet, please check 24 Pet Connect to see if your animal is there and where you can find them. And if you want to adopt this little cutie who we're calling Toto, he can be adopted through the help of our friends at the Kansas Humane Society. His animal number is A174169. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Lily, and I hope that Toto can get a new home. And again, we appreciate Animal Services for bringing in animals that are lost or need to be reunited, as well as those that need a new home. While we're on the topic of the Wichita Police Department, the Animal Control Services does fall under that department, and as part of their mission to protect and serve all residents, including the furry ones. Another service the Wichita Police Department undertakes is helping to protect residents from scams, especially scams targeting our senior population. Here to tell us more about these scams they're fighting right now and how to stay vigilant is Sergeant Kelly Marr.
Thank you, Mayor. Hello, my name is Sergeant Kelly Marr, and I'm over our financial crimes unit. And what we are wanting to get out to our citizens is that we want to make you aware of a number of what we call confidence games or scams that we are seeing our population becoming victims to. Some of the scams that we're seeing is our citizens are getting calls saying that they are law enforcement or that they are loss prevention with their bank, and that they need to either, if it's law enforcement, they're saying you've missed a jury duty and you have to pay a fine. And they're asking them to go take anywhere from a few $1,000s to up to $12,000 to $25,000 out in cash, and then to go to a Bitcoin machine and pay their fine through Bitcoin, or go in and purchase gift cards at either our Walmarts or CVS, and then give them those numbers for those gift cards, and then they're paying their fines supposedly by this. Or they're saying, look, I'm with loss prevention with your bank. Your account's been compromised. We need you to withdraw all that money, and we're going to give you a secure place to put it. And they're having them either put it again in a Bitcoin, or they're telling them to put it in gift cards and we're going to open a new card for you, or they're telling them that if you give me the access to your account, we're going to move your money to another secure account, and then they're being scammed. And again, they're not taking just a few dollars, they're taking anywhere from a few thousand to up to over $100,000 from these individuals. And that money is money that we, in most cases, can't get back. Another scam that we're seeing is that this is a new one, is that now they're getting calls or emails saying your Amazon account has been compromised, or you owe fines for a K tag. And they're again using this fear that most of these individuals will tell me, I don't want to be in trouble, I've never been in trouble. And so they keep them on the phone, and they're very good at the conversations that they give them, even to the point of telling them, lie to your banks when you take this money out. And then they're going and they're putting it into Bitcoin, or they're putting it into gift cards, or they're giving them their information, and they're giving them a code to scan the money into them. And so they're losing a lot of money. And so we just want them to be aware that if you get these calls, and you'll get them through text messages, or you'll get them through emails now, and they'll say, call this number, that before you call that number, especially if they say, we're your bank, we're with the FBI, help us, your bank's being compromised, call 911, call law enforcement, and let them know what's going on, especially when it comes to taking this money out. If you have questions about any of these calls, an officer will be more than happy to contact you and give you information and let you know that you could possibly be being scammed. Or give our detectives in financial crimes a call at 316-268-4193 and talk to a detective, because we really want to make sure that you're not losing your life savings or money that you've worked so hard for. And then we would also like to encourage, if you have a community group, church organizations, retirement communities, schools, groups that you would like us to come out and talk to you about identity theft and financial crimes, please contact my office at 316-268-4193, and we will set up a time that a detective or myself can come out and talk to your group and educate you so that you don't become a victim of financial crimes. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you again, Sergeant Marr. Be sure that you're aware of current scams going around and spread awareness to your loved ones so they do not become victims of financial crimes. And I want to reiterate that phone number if you would like the Wichita Police Department's Financial Crimes Unit to come and bring more awareness to your community group. Please call them at 316-268-4193. And now, here to share our weekly mental health tip is Eric Litweiler from Mental Health America. Eric?
Thank you, Mayor. So we regularly get inquiries at MHA from parents who are worried about their children's mental health. Maybe they see grades dropping, maybe they notice changes in sleep habits or hygiene habits or eating habits. Maybe they see a new group of friends coming around the house. Whatever it is, these sudden and drastic, sometimes behavioral changes may indicate that your child is struggling with a mental health concern. And they're struggling to adapt or to cope to a perceived issue in their lives. The sooner MHA is able to intervene in that situation, the better off the child will be, but also the better off the entire family will be, because it not only allows for the identification of the stressor for the child, but it means less time for the other family members to exist in this unstable dynamic. This is the purpose of a new position that was recently added and filled at MHA's stable of operational and clinical positions. The position is called a Children's Behavioral Interventionist. The Children's Behavioral Interventionist is able to visit the home where the child is struggling and work with the entire family to identify the source of the change, to help the parents see how it might be affecting the child, and also to address the strained relationships that may not even exist yet, but will if the situation persists. For instance, consider an animated late-night discussion between two parents about a job loss that may appear to be hidden from the child, or maybe may seem too advanced for the child to really understand. And that may be true, but a child who hears these discussions, even if they don't understand what it really means, will interpret the words and the tones and the interaction through whatever lens they do happen to possess. And that could result in unforeseen behavioral change. That in turn may affect the dynamic between their younger siblings. It may cause additional strain between the parents, who now also have to consider how or even if to get help for their child. The child may not tell their parents why they're acting this way. They may not be able to cognitively understand the connection between what they're doing and the source of the acting out. But the interventionist has their experience, as well as the full range of programs available at MHA, including a play therapist, for instance, to uncover the source of the issue and to work with the entire family to open up communication and provide the child or children with the coping skills that they need to understand what's happening and how to respond to it in a more productive and sustainable fashion. Where a child's therapist may work with the child for the hour a week that the child's brought into them, the behavioral interventionist comes to your home to better understand the entire family dynamic that's at play, and therefore treat the family unit holistically for better long-term outcomes. I also want to point out in closing that this is just one example of many, many mental health services that we know exist and which are badly needed in a community the size of Wichita. But without funding, many of these types of job descriptions remain either ignored or unfilled by mental health organizations because they're too small to be considered viable by for-profit organizations, but they're too large, too pie in the sky for most nonprofits to consider. With our addition of this position, there are now a grand total of 2 children's behavioral interventionists in the entire Wichita metro area and only 3 more in the entire Kansas City area. For the millions of people who live in these 2 major population centers, having 5 children's behavioral interventionists is not enough. And it's another really good illustration of how important it is for our private sector to support the important mission of mental health. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric, and we appreciate Mental Health America attending every week to provide not only the resources that are available, but some tips regarding mental health in our community. And while we're on the topic of health, it's important to focus on our mental health as well as our physical well-being. And the American Heart Association works to reduce death caused by heart disease and stroke. They're planning for the 2025 Wichita Heart Walk, which will be held on June 21st, and they invite the community to participate. Here to tell us more is American Heart Association Senior Development Director, Heather Smart.
Good morning. My name is Heather Smart. Thank you for the introduction. I am the Senior Development Director with the American Heart Association here in Wichita. The American Heart Association is a leading organization dedicated to fighting heart disease and stroke. We are a 101-year-old organization with a mission of helping people live longer, healthier lives. Through research and education and community initiatives, we aim to prevent and treat cardiovascular disease, which is Americans' leading cause of death. As many of you know, February is American Heart Month, which is a time we come together and raise awareness on the importance of heart health. It's an opportunity to not only educate ourselves, but our loved ones about the risk factors and identify steps that they can take to live longer, healthier lives. The American Heart Association here in Wichita continues to be focused on spreading that message around heart disease and stroke, and hopefully educate people that through preventative life changes and lifestyles, some of these risk factors can be addressed. Additionally, here in Wichita, another goal that we're focused on is increasing community knowledge around performing hands-only CPR and creating a nation of lifesavers. Currently, 90% of people who suffer cardiac arrest out of a hospital setting do not survive. This is in part because of the knowledge that people do not have to perform CPR. CPR, if performed immediately, can double or triple a person's chance of survival. And we know that to save the 350,000 lives that are lost to cardiac arrest each year, we must increase the knowledge of hands-only CPR in our community, ensuring people know to call 911 for help, do chest compressions hard and fast, and then use an AED when and where available. So with your help, we can bring this conversation to light and hope our community members can invest in the American Heart Association as we're committed to ensuring Wichitans are prepared and ready to respond to cardiac arrest. One of the most important and impactful ways you can do that is participating through our Wichita Heart Walk that's coming up on June 21st at Equity Bank Park or Riverfront Stadium. The Heart Walk is an incredible way. It brings thousands of our community members together to celebrate survivors, also honor those that have lost their life to cardiac arrest or cardiovascular disease and stroke, and then of course raise funds for our life-saving work here in the community. We're calling on local companies and community members to join us by forming teams and participating in the June Heart Walk. The community's investment is not only helping us reach our fundraising goals, but it also demonstrates Wichita's commitment to health and well-being for our community. It's a fantastic way for companies to boost employee morale, encourage teamwork, and promote that healthy lifestyle within their organizations. In addition, those that participate through Heart Walk will also be provided with hands-only CPR education through our Heart Walk platform. And interested companies can also work alongside our American Heart Association team for CPR demonstrations in their workforce. So today we're encouraging all of you to say yes and participate with us in the upcoming Heart Walk, so together we can make significant impact in helping address cardiovascular disease and stroke for our community. Thank you for the time today, and of course you can find more information at wichitaheartwalk.org to get involved. Thanks.
Thank you, Heather. Appreciate again two nonprofits that come and share the opportunities that they have, whether it's Mental Health America or the American Heart Association. Really appreciate that. Now we're going to move on to economic development and something fun in downtown Wichita. Here to tell us more is Cynthia Wentworth, Executive Vice President of Strategic Communications for the Greater Wichita Partnership.
Thank you, Mayor. I am Cynthia Wentworth here on behalf of Heather Schroeder, who is our Executive Director of Downtown Wichita. As many of you know, Downtown Wichita had a master plan that was extremely successful. We drove more than $1.7 billion with a B dollars in economic impact in just downtown alone since that plan began in 2010. In addition to that, there's more $760 million left in the pipeline that we're still yet creating and bringing to the downtown core. Since this master plan from 2010 concludes at the end of this year, we began last year to make sure that we were ready to say what's those next steps for our community. We wanted to now create a 10-year plan because as fast as things were moving 15 years ago, they're moving even quicker today. So we set about to create an RFP in which 17 different organizations that are experts in downtown planning actually responded to. We had a highly competitive process, and from that competitive process, the winner is a global urban planning and design firm called Sasaki. Along with Sasaki and Mayor Wu, who will join us there as well as Heather and myself, we invite you to the official action plan kickoff, which is happening this Tuesday, March 4th, beginning at 5 p.m. This event will be held at WAVE, which is located at 650 East 2nd Street right there in downtown. It will feature professionals like Jeff Speck, who is known literally around the globe as an expert in walkability. He literally wrote the book called Walkable City, and it's truly an honor to be able to welcome him as part of the team that's coming to help us look at downtown Wichita. In addition to him, Sasaki will have experts to answer questions in a roundtable fashion, everything from finances and real estate to walkability and what you want your own downtown to look like. So after that opening with Jeff Speck, the walkability expert, it'll be a come and go type of an event that will go all the way until 8 p.m. So if you can't get there until later, you can still participate and offer your feedback. It's critically important to Heather and all of downtown Wichita that we do get the feedback that people desire on what they want to see, what they've seen in other cities, what they think we might benefit from having here in downtown Wichita. You can register to let us know that you're coming at downtownwichita.org. Just click on the banner there that says Downtown Wichita Action Plan. The mayor and I both hope that we see you on March 4th, this coming Tuesday at WAVE, beginning at 5 o'clock. We do have brochures. It has a QR code, or you can register online. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Again, this is a great opportunity to provide that feedback regarding downtown Wichita. And again, it's this upcoming Tuesday, March 4th, from 5 to 8 p.m. at the WAVE. Well, now we're going to move to our segment called Good News in Wichita. So I'm going to bring up District Number 3 Council Member Mike Hoheisel to tell us some things happening in his district.
All right, thank you, Mayor. I appreciate this opportunity. The thing I'd like to highlight before you all today is we are beginning talks with some student-led groups such as the Mayor's Youth Council to start leading some of the unity and the community events that we put on last year. So far this year, it has been a relatively quiet year as far as violence goes, and we hope that that trend holds. But we also realize that as temperatures rise, so do incidents of violence around our community, especially with the youth. So we are trying to be proactive with it this year and hopefully have an event or a series of events working with kids in the Mayor's Youth Council and again other student-led groups, because nobody's going to be able to communicate with their peers like a child will. We can sit up here and have the adults talk all day long, but the children know what's going on in the schools, they know where their needs are, and they know how to communicate better. I've been finding that out more and more because I'm only one of the Mayor's Youth Council groups actually has a Facebook, and that is all I have currently. So I feel really out of date now, but again, this is how the kids communicate with each other. So last year we had 4 events, I believe, maybe 5, throughout the city. They were mostly elder-led. We worked with clergy, members of the community who are active in violence response, and also the city council members and the mayor as well. So this year we're just trying to change things up a little bit and allow the kids to take the lead on this and start making some decisions for themselves. And I think it's going to be a great event. We are working with them to secure a date, so hopefully it's before the end of the school year. And I just hope that we can rely on anybody listening to help get the word out, because we need as many children there and parents and community organizers who are actively working, again, to curb youth violence in our community. So just keep that on your radar, and we will be coming out with more information as it comes along. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Hoheisel. And again, we really encourage more participation through the Unity in the Community Walks for Peace. It started in District Number 1 last year under the leadership of Councilmember Johnson and the Greater Wichita Ministerial League, and we hope to continue them as they did in District 3 with the leadership of Councilmember Hoheisel, then to District Number 6, Councilmember Ballard, and District Number 4, Councilmember Glasscock. So hopefully this year, with more participation from our youth leaders, we will be able to have more youth participation in Unity in the Community. And to round out good news, District Number 1 wanted to share that they will have their District 1 breakfast this upcoming Saturday at 9:30 a.m. at the Atwater Neighborhood Resource Center located at 2755 East 19th Street North. It is free to attend, and there is breakfast available. The guest speakers this month will be Armando Minjares, the artist behind the Maya Angelou Branch Library Preservation Project, as well as Brooke Kachuk, the City of Wichita Community Services representative, who will talk about neighborhood cleanups and training regarding neighborhood cleanups. And last but not least, still encouraging our community, if you're looking to volunteer, if there are any youth that are interested in helping, any adults as well, the American Red Cross is still looking for volunteers this Saturday, March 1st, for the Sound the Alarm Save a Life project, where volunteers will be installing free smoke alarms in North Wichita. And this will be available to residents that have signed up, as well as volunteers who sign up to install these smoke alarms. The information can be found at tinyurl.com, so tinyurl.com/Wichita Sound the Alarm. So again, tinyurl.com/Wichita Sound the Alarm. And again, it's this upcoming Saturday, March 1st. Again, thank you very much for listening to all the updates that are happening in our community and the good news around the city of Wichita. We will now take questions from media.
I had some questions about the street project. It seems like we've gotten a bit of a...
I'm going to do this with a puppy, if no one complains.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It seems like for the last few weeks here, we've had kind of a preview of what downtown looks like with streets that are one lane.
Sure.
With all the construction going on. Last Wednesday, I came in early and hit rush hour, and it took me 10 minutes to get from Kellogg to Douglas on Market Street. And then yesterday, I noticed that traffic was backed up all the way to Central on Main Street going south.
Yeah.
Is what we can expect from this project?
I would say that are you talking about specifically the street conversion project or just some of the ongoing?
About having one lane going having one traffic lane where there are now several.
Yeah. Well, not all of the lanes being converted will be only one lane. Some of them will be 2 lanes. But what we're looking at is we've already done some of these conversions on Emporia previously. We have not seen much of a traffic impact in terms of time. But again, if you're traveling during rush hour, you might be in traffic just a little bit longer during those high traffic times. That's to be expected, especially in a city's business core. But overall, we haven't seen that much of an impact in terms of traverse times.
Okay. And I've read many traffic studies on
Sure.
these projects.
Yeah.
And has there ever been one that specifically addressed peak traffic hours?
I'd have to check with our city engineers and get back with you.
Because everyone I've ever seen has been like average daily traffic.
Sure. Yeah, I would have to check with our engineers.
And what provisions will be made when these streets are taken down to one lane for clearance of stalled vehicles or minor accidents that there'll be no way to go around?
So, in some of our streets, like 2nd Street, 1st Street kind of comes to mind where it's just one lane. There might be times where you have to go around a vehicle. There will be some on-street parking on some of those areas as well. But obviously, just like you see on Kellogg, sometimes wrecks do create a little bit more of a backlog of traffic. But usually our folks are pretty good and they get those cleared in record time.
So where would you drive around the vehicles?
So like on 2nd Street, I was driving, there was a traffic accident not too long ago. So some people were kind of carefully going in the bike lanes. Just a reminder, never drive in the bike lanes. But if there is a traffic accident or something like that, you can carefully go around or try to find a way to go on a side street or something like that. Again, these are very infrequent incidents too.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
With is the city concerned with any other downtown buildings having the same kind of issue as the Commodore had yesterday?
I'm happy to talk to that.
District number 6.
Yeah. So yeah, yesterday the Commodore building did have an incident where some bricks fell off of the facade. Thanks to our fire department, they secured that very quickly and were able to make it safe, and efforts are being made to contact the owners. Obviously, there's an expectation for all of our buildings to be safe. So we try to work with folks when there is an incident to get it abated as quickly as possible. Obviously, it's not something that you can ever expect, but we work to try to make it safe as quickly as possible and get those owners into compliance.
Who is the owner?
I don't have that at the top of my head.
But it's not a city-owned.
It is not a city-owned facility.
Any other? Well, thank you all very much, and we will see you at agenda review on Friday and the Tuesday council meeting at 9 a.m. Have a great week.